Hello, I am Alvin Johnson, and I am pleased to welcome you to the 2020 presentation of the Promising Scholars Fund Edward A. Boucher Scholarship Awards Program. I am highly honored to serve as chairman of the fund's board of directors, and later in this program, you will meet the other dedicated members of our board. This year, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we're conducting a virtual presentation instead of hosting our annual awards luncheon, where in previous years we have introduced our scholars and their families. During this virtual gathering, you will be introduced to each of our outstanding young people who are receiving our 2020 scholarships. These students have plans to attend a variety of colleges and universities to pursue their higher education in order to attain their respective career dreams. The Promising Scholars Fund was established by the New Haven members of Sigma Pi Phi fraternity. Sigma Pi Phi was founded in 1904 and is the oldest Greek letter fraternity established by African American men. The local members are professional African American men of accomplishment. These men have a history of providing from 4 to 6 scholarships in each of the past 33 years. This year, we are making award to 7 outstanding scholars. Each of our scholarships is for $6,000 and can be renewed. However, in order to renew, recipients must reapply each year, and in doing so, they will compete with all the other applicants for that year. Needless to say, recipients, you should keep your ever-important grade point averages high, as that becomes the major factor in receiving an additional grant. The board has been pleased with a number of our past scholars who have received multiple years of undergraduate grants, and we are proud to say that over the past 33 years, we have presented approximately 150 scholarships to deserving young people. The majority of these scholars have completed undergraduate and some graduate degrees, preparing them for the successful careers that they now hold. It is our desire for the 2020 recipients to do the same in due time. Now, we have named the Edward A. Boucher Award in honor of an African American man who completed his PhD in physics at Yale University in 1876. Just think for a minute how difficult this must have been during that period for a man of color to achieve this lofty goal. We certainly hope his legacy will inspire our scholars to also reach their life goals. Extensive research on the life of Edward Boucher was conducted by Dr. Curtis Patton, Professor Emeritus at Yale School of Medicine. Through his work, Dr. Patton successfully and single-handedly promoted and planned events throughout the country, wherein a number of noteworthy awards have been posthumously presented to honor Dr. Boucher. Dr. Patton will now share a little bit of information about this little-known, magnificent African American man. Dr. Patton is a member of Sigma Pi Phi fraternity and is a special asset as an emeritus member of the Foundation's board. I invite you to listen to him closely and also encourage each of you to follow up with your own personal research about Edward Boucher. Again, I welcome you to the celebration of these exceptional young scholars, and I now want you to listen to Dr. Patton.
Edward Boucher was a real New Haven boy, born and raised in sweet New Haven, born, in fact, on the colored end of Bradley Street. Edward Boucher, first of all, went to a one-room schoolhouse. Later, he was organized to study with other students at the Addison Street School. Edward Boucher was so brilliant at that time that he insisted that he be enrolled in the New Haven High School, which was a school that did not permit people who looked like me to go. He enrolled, and he was so brilliant that Hopkins decided, well, maybe he shouldn't study at the New Haven High School. He should go to Hopkins School, which was the school, preparatory school, for people who wanted to go to schools like Yale. But in order to be enrolled in Hopkins, he had to sit for examination, because after all, he looked like me. He had not gone to Hopkins in preparation. They said to this young boy, you will have to pass examination to show that you are equal to all of the students who have been in school all along to do the work here. He sat for examination, and he just kicked everybody in the behind that you can think of without having teachers, without having access to books and all of those other things that the other students had. He sat for examination and proved himself to be smarter than anybody that was already enrolled at that time, let's say in the 11th grade. Anyway, he graduates valedictorian of Hopkins, the important school in New England. Graduates valedictorian. Valedictorian usually means you speak at commencement. He didn't. Anyway, he gets up, he enrolls in Yale as soon as he could, and they were glad to have him. He graduates with what would have been called orations. He did not speak at commencement. His classmates on class day sing songs that were insulting. The class picture shows him seated with his classmates on steps of some building here in New Haven. Everybody's looking at the camera. Edward Boucher turns his body like this. But he enrolls the next day in the first graduate school in the nation we called it the United States of America, here at Yale, and graduates in 2 years at the ripe old age of 23. Before he turns 24, he had earned a PhD in physics when half the country couldn't read and write. He remained in New Haven, and he continued to be a New Haven resident even after he graduated from Yale College. He, for a time, was what we would call a porter at the Palladium. The Palladium building still stands, and it ran newspapers. And after he graduated from being what would have been called a janitor at the Palladium, he managed to become a member of the Yale University establishment. Other than that, he spent a quarter of a century teaching in the School for Colored Youth in Philadelphia. without graduate students, without graduate laboratory, without library. And then they decided that that school should really be another school devoted to teaching people who look like us to serve. He was, of course, fired. And after that, a series of jobs, one after the other, all of which were unsatisfactory. And he comes back to New Haven and dies. But Edward Boucher is buried in the Evergreen Cemetery, and one of the good archons of this organization became a member of the Board of Trustees of the Evergreen Cemetery. Mr. McCraven, or Brother McCaven, or Con McCaven, the younger. And he whispered in my ear, "Do you know where Edward Boucher is buried?" I said, "Yes, I do." He said, "Do you really?" I said, "Yes, I've never visited it." He said, "Well, I think maybe you should visit where you think he's buried." There was nothing there but a sunken grave. The first person in the United States, probably the world, who looked like many of us in this room, who earned a PhD in anything, buried in a shallow grave with no marker. And the Boulay, with help from the community and business and Yale University, finally put a marker on his grave. We established and put on his grave a black granite stone with his name and his accomplishments. And made it possible for people to recognize who he was and where he was at a time when everybody had seemingly forgotten about him, including his alma mater. But he's remembered by people in this room.
Good morning. My name is Fred McKinney. I am Sire Archon of Beta Tau Boulay and a trustee of Promising Scholars. I will be introducing my fellow trustees this morning. I will start with myself. I am currently the Carlton Highsmith Chair for Innovation and Entrepreneurship and the Director of the People's United Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. I earned my bachelor's degree from UCLA, and I earned a PhD in economics from Yale University. It is now my honor to introduce my fellow Promising Scholars trustees, and I will start with Kevin Mayette.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sire Archon.
Good morning.
My name is Kevin Mayette, and I am blessed to serve as the Chief Human Resource Officer for Yale New Haven Health System. I received my undergraduate degree from Virginia State University, my graduate degree from Arizona State University, and was blessed to receive an honorary PhD from the University of New Haven here in Connecticut. I wish to congratulate all of the awardees. This accomplishment is a significant one in your life. I ask that as you go on with your career and reapply for your scholarship and graduate, hopefully with honors, that you will remember that this is an organization that provided to you and that you will in turn reach back and provide to someone else, whether it's this fraternity or some other organization, but reach back and bring someone along to assist just as you were assisted. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin Mayette. I'd also like to introduce Al Johnson. You saw Al Johnson in the introductory video. Mr. Johnson holds a bachelor's and a master's degree in business administration from Southern Illinois University, and he has held several senior management positions in manufacturing companies throughout the country, and he retired as vice president of Yale New Haven Hospital. And he spends his days now down in Florida, from what I understand, playing golf every day. But he is the chair of the Promising Scholars Foundation. Next, we have Sharon Esdale. Miss Esdale could not be with us today, and Sharon is a retired principal at the Wintergreen Interdistrict Magnet School of Hamden. Ms. Esdale is a graduate of Mount Holyoke College and holds a graduate degree from Southern Connecticut State University. Next, we have Eric Clemens. Mr. Clemens is the executive director of Connecticut Center for Arts and Technology in New Haven, Connecticut. Mr. Clemens serves on numerous boards of directors, including the Elm City Housing, the Housing Authority of New Haven, Hill Health Center, and Dalio Philanthropies. Mr. Clemens holds a baccalaureate degree from Southern Connecticut State University and a graduate degree from Hartford Seminary. Next, we have some live directors that will talk. And I want to go to Hiram Brett, if he is on, if we can go to Hiram.
Good morning, Sarah Khan, and welcome and congratulations to all of our scholarship recipients. I want to congratulate Michael, Bradley, McKinley, Neil, Kaylin, Tamar, and Logan on your accomplishments thus far. As I thought about what I'd say to you today, and I must say that I'm a preacher, so hopefully I won't go too long, but I am a preacher. But this is my 50th year anniversary of my graduation from high school. And a time like this gives you time to reflect with the coronavirus, showing you that you're in the group that is high risk. But I wanted to share that in this 50-year journey, from kindergarten through 12th grade, I attended segregated schools. And through the 5th grade, these schools were in a small town, Murfreesboro in North Carolina, that had colored-only bathrooms, restaurants, movie theaters, and that during the cotton picking season even let out elementary school students to go and pick cotton, which I did. But despite these obstacles and challenges, education was a key value that was promoted by my family. And by the 3rd or 4th grade, I had decided that I wanted to attend Duke University in North Carolina. My family moved to Norfolk when I was in the 6th grade. And when I graduated in 1970 from Booker T. Washington, I didn't attend Duke, but I attended Williams College in Massachusetts. And one of the reasons was because when I visited that school, that picturesque campus in the Berkshire Mountains was the picture that I had carried around in my mind all the years of what my college would be like. And its motto, aim for the stars and maybe you'll reach the sky, which was on the entrance gate to this first building, provided the perfect inspiration. And I graduated from there with a BA in political economy. I then was accepted to Stanford Business School, received an MBA from Stanford Business School. And then I worked for many years, first in public policy, for many consulting firms in the Washington, D.C. area, and then began a career in telecommunications with MCI and had positions in sales and marketing, corporate development, strategic planning. And 25 years ago, I was recruited here to Connecticut to work for SNET and held executive positions in SNET, which later morphed into SBC and AT&T in marketing, finance, and strategic planning. And one of the highlights of my career was being able to spot talent, to be able to find talent, particularly persons of color, and to provide them opportunities so that that talent could be showcased and rewarded. After a long career in telecommunications, I followed my call into the ministry and attended Yale Divinity School, graduating in 2016. And I currently serve as the pastor of Whitneyville United Church of Christ and as an emergency room chaplain at Bridgeport Hospital and on several boards, Gateway and New Haven Legal Assistance. So I really want to congratulate you. And I think the words that I'd leave you with is the words of Henry David Thoreau, who wrote, "If one advances confidently in the direction of his or her dreams and endeavors to live the life which she has imagined, he or she will meet with success unexpected in common hours." Again, congratulations, and my prayer is that you will aim for the stars and meet with success unexpected in common hours. Thank you.
Next, we have Claude Montgomery.
Good morning, Sire Khan, and thank you. And good morning to Keelan, McKinley, Neil, Tamar, and the other distinguished members of the Board of Trustees and Beta Tau Sigma Pi Phi. I want to say that I have had a good life. I was a graduate of Brown University in 1975 with a BA in economics and history. I graduated from Stanford Law School in 1978, and I've had a very fortunate professional career. I am today a partner in the restructuring, insolvency, and bankruptcy group of the world's largest law firm, Denton's, and with over 10,000 lawyers in it today. Over my career, I've been involved in the Puerto Rico bankruptcy, the City of Detroit bankruptcy, the Lehman bankruptcy, the auto industry recession of the early 1980s, and again in the 1990s. I have today 2 living children, and I've been married to the same woman, my Arcusa, Diane Montgomery, for over 45 years. So my life has been fortunate. My tragedies have been common, but nonetheless mine, and consistent with Pastor Brett, I think you will find that your life has plenty of ups and downs, and that at the end of the day, we are all fortunate to have very fine and interesting careers, and I am incredibly fortunate to be participating on this panel today as a, if you will, a token representative of Sigma Pi Phi, a wonderful fraternity of distinguished Black men that's over 100 years old. So thank you, Sir Archon.
Very welcome. You're very welcome, Archon Montgomery. And next we will go to Carlton Highsmith.
Good morning, and thank you, Sire Archon, and good morning, everyone. And congratulations to all of the Scholarship Award recipients today and to your families. I am a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I hold several honorary doctorate degrees from Albertus Magnus College in New Haven and Quinnipiac University. I am a retired entrepreneur. The firm I started in New Haven in 1983 grew ultimately become one of the nation's largest designers and manufacturers of paperboard packaging. I currently serve on the board of directors of KeyBank, based in Cleveland, Ohio, the nation's 12th largest bank. I'm also on a board at Vanessa Research Labs, a biotech and pharmaceutical manufacturing firm based in Hamden, Connecticut. I serve on the board of trustees at Young Haven Health, also the board of trustees at the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven, where I chair the investment committee. We provide governance oversight of the foundation's $600 million endowment. I'm also vice chair of the Board of Trustees at Quinnipiac University, and I really congratulate all of the award recipients today. Our investment in you does not end when we send the check to your respective university. Beta Tau Boulay is established on our website, Beta Tau Boulay, all lowercase, Beta Tau Boulay. If you were to go to that website and you see contact us, if any of you throughout your academic or professional career would like to connect with us, simply go to that website and hit contact us, and we will connect you with this organization and all of the outstanding men who comprise Beta Tau Boulay. Again, congratulations to all of the award recipients today. Best of luck to you, your academic endeavors.
Now you know about Sigma Pi Phi and the Promising Scholars Fund. Heard a small bit about Dr. Boucher, and you have met our dedicated governing board members. The next segment will be the most important, the introduction of the recipients. First, I must express just how proud our members are of these young people. We are equally as proud to give support to their continuing education, and I am sure we will all be proud of what each of them will accomplish. Before we hear from the students, I would like to inform everyone of the Boucher Award process. Our scholarship offering is publicized to attract African American student applicants from 20 high schools in the state of Connecticut. Interested students apply online to Scholarship America, a company which makes the selections according to our preset criteria. Students are selected only on their credentials without any bias or involvement from the members of Sigma Pi Phi. This year, there were 70 competing applicants, which clearly indicates that these seven are exceptionally well-qualified scholars. As I stated in my introduction, each scholarship of $6,000 will be sent to the school the student has selected to attend. The schools will allocate $3,000 to the student's fall semester and $3,000 to the winter semester. All of the above will be managed by Scholarship America on our behalf. Scholarship America will also notify each Boucher scholar before the 2021 application process begins in January. Recipients, be mindful of this notice and respond if you wish to be considered for an additional grant in 2021. Each recipient will soon receive a beautiful keepsake medallion displaying a bust of Edward Boucher, and will have the student's name engraved on the reverse side. We invite recipients to wear your medallion with pride, as it provides an opportunity to inform others of the legacy of Dr. Edward Boucher. We've asked each scholar to record a personal introduction summarizing their high school activities and future educational plans. I am sure you will be favorably impressed with these presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, the Promising Scholars Fund presents the 2020 Edward A. Boucher Scholars.
Hello, my name is Michael Christie, and I'm honored to accept the 2020 Edward Boucher Promising Scholars Scholarship. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a graduate of Hopkins School, class of 2019, and while I was in high school, I had many activities, some of which were being the captain of the boys' cross-country and outdoor track teams. I was a co-founder of the Black Student Union at my school, and I attended a Student Diversity Leadership Conference 3 years in a row, one of which I was a student facilitator at the conference. Now I'm finishing up my freshman year at the University of Connecticut. I had a 4.0 GPA during the fall term. I'm an honors student, and because of my GPA, I was enlisted on the Dean's List, and I was also awarded at the Alpha Lambda Delta Award Ceremony, which is a national honors society. My major is political science, but I'm shifting my major to computer science in order to continue to pursue my career aspirations, which are to be an intellectual property attorney. I think intellectual property law is a perfect intersection of two of my passions, computer science and law. And after discussing this with some members of the Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, they've given me a lot of leadership and guidance as to figuring out this is actually what I want to do with my life. So I'd love to thank the Sigma Pi Phi fraternity for all of their guidance and leadership. When I met many of their members the last year's award ceremony, they were able to give me very helpful hints and guidance as to what I should do. And they've just been very instrumental in helping me grow as a person. Not the least to say that Edward Boucher is a very influential and inspirational person himself, based off of his guidance in pioneering education. I also took a couple of footsteps in his direction and am working on a paper with Dr. Shyla Nunnally on African American education during the Reconstruction era in Virginia. And this paper focuses on Black intellect and how African people went from being enslaved to having secondary and primary education in Virginia. So I'd like to thank again Promising Scholars, the Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, my parents for raising me to have certain ideals that are helping me to grow as a person. I'd like to thank my faith, which is keeping me on track with all the distractions of collegiate lifestyle. And I'd like to thank Edward Boucher for being such a great role model. Thank you all again. I'm truly honored.
Hi everyone, I'm Bradley Rustin and I'm from New Fairfield, Connecticut. I used to go to New Fairfield High School where I finished with a 4.32 weighted GPA over my 4 years. My senior year, I was the president of my school's chapter of the Future Business Leaders of America, as well as the treasurer of my graduating class. Last year, I was also the Horde Foundation's Overall Excellence Scholar, and I also received membership into the Ron Brown Captains Program. But more recently, I've just finished my freshman year at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where I currently have a 3.9 GPA. I've been granted assured admission into the Keenan Flagler undergraduate business program, where I'll study to graduate as a business administration major. I'm currently considering minors in media and journalism, as well as political science. I'm still working out my career choice as of now, but I've thought about working in the media and entertainment industry or in government. Black success is something that is very important to me, and I'm a firm believer that it should always be recognized and celebrated. My dad was raised by his mom in rural Virginia, and his childhood home didn't even have a bathroom. He had to use his outside outhouse whenever he needed to go. In the winter, at night, that was just how he grew up. And my mom, she was a latchkey kid on the west side of Chicago, where she and her siblings had to walk to school every single day. But both my mom and my dad are hardworking, self-made Black success stories who defied the odds and graduated college. They're my biggest role models, and they inspire me to follow in their footsteps. That's why whenever my alarm goes off for my 8 a.m. and I'm struggling to roll out of bed, their sacrifices are my motivation to get up and go out there and just try to crush it, work my butt off, and do whatever I need to do. Because I owe it to them, and I owe it to myself to do exactly that. This scholarship is exactly what promoting Black excellence is all about. The statistic that the high school graduation rate among Black students in the greater New Haven area is only 78% is a problem. And what this scholarship is doing is recognizing that problem and taking those steps to fix it. Because at the end of the day, education is the pathway to prosperity for our race. Since without education, we won't be able to compete, and we won't be able to change the narratives about our people in this country. The successes and accomplishments of Edward Boucher are a testament to that. Because of his determination and his perseverance in the educational sphere, he was able to be a great success in his field. But more important are the barriers he broke down as a trailblazer for all Black people in this country who above all else seek a high quality education. Boucher's contributions to Black history have helped countless Black men and women pursuing their education in America, because he was one of the first Black Americans to be living proof that we can defy the odds and we are capable of doing great things even in oppressive environments. I'd like to wrap up by commenting on what the Promising Scholars Fund is all about. The scholarship's main purpose is to reduce economic barriers to college education for African American students. With this understanding, I know that this opportunity is more than just lessening the burden of my college tuition. The scholarship is more. It's an investment in my future, and I won't take that for granted. Being selected as a recipient for this scholarship means that you believe in me, and that gives me even more motivation to try my hardest each and every day. This goes beyond the next 3 years and beyond me just graduating from college. While this money may be used before the year's end, its effect on me will last far beyond my collegiate experience. I know that after my graduation, my journey is just getting started, and you have helped me to continue this journey, and I'm so grateful for that. Above all, I want to become a role model in the future for young Black kids who are trying to get their education and represent Black success. Just like my parents are for me, I want to make a positive difference in people's lives. Thank you for getting me one step closer to my dreams and ambitions.
My name is McKinley Harrell. I attend the Cooperative Arts and Humanities High School in New Haven, Connecticut. Over the past 4 years, I've held many leadership roles, such as being a member of the National Honor Society, being named team president of the Jack and Jill of America New Haven chapter, being a member of the NAACP, being a part of student governance in my school, and being named Distinguished Teen of the Year by Jack and Jill of America. In the fall, I will be attending the Real HU, Hampton University, majoring in finance, and in the future I plan to be a financial analyst and advisor. I am honored to be a recipient of the Edward Boucher Scholarship. In 1876, it could not have been easy for Edward Boucher to receive a PhD from Yale University, and to this day it still remains a challenge. African Americans represent only 5 to 6% of doctoral recipients. I'd like to thank the New Haven Boule members for acknowledging my hard work and giving me the opportunity to further my education and achieve my future goals. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Neil Grasty. I am a senior at Hamden High School in Hamden, Connecticut. I've served as the president of the Greater New Haven NAACP Youth Council for the past 2 years, and I currently serve as the youth board member for the Greater New Haven African American Historical Society. I've received numerous awards, such as the Connecticut Association of Public Schools Superintendents Award and the Medgar Wiley Evers Youth Leadership Award, which I received at the 2019 NAACP National Convention. Most recently, I was awarded the We See You Youth Award by the Hamden Black History Committee for my scholastic and community achievements. I will be attending Morehouse College fall of 2020, majoring in art history with a minor in curatorial studies. My plan is to become a curator at a major art museum, such as the Metropolitan Museum of Art or Studio Museum in Harlem. As a curator, I would like to specialize in early 20th century African diasporic art, with an emphasis on the Caribbean and Afro-Latin America. Another specialization I intend to study is the contributions enslaved Africans have made within the area of antebellum decorative arts. There has been minimal research or scholarly attention given to my two possible specializations. I would eventually advance my career and become a museum director. In these positions, I would like to address the lack of diversity within the field and make the arts more accessible and equitable for all. This scholarship has made college less of a financial burden for my parents, who for the past 4 years have provided financial assistance to my sister's education at Spelman College. This scholarship will allow me to limit the amount of student debt I may incur before attending graduate school. as I intend to pursue a PhD in art history after graduating from Morehouse College. I'm very inspired by both Dr. Edward A. Bouche and the values of Sigma Pi Phi fraternity. After Dr. Edward A. Bouche graduated from Yale University with his PhD in physics, he would go on to teach at the Institute for Colored Youth. Despite the unfortunate circumstances of this, that he had to work there due to the limited professional opportunities that Black men had at that time, I find him working there still very admirable. Especially since while working there, he exposed Black youth to science and even advocated for the improvement of science education at this institution. His being there helped create representation of Black people in science and showed Black youth that they too could pursue a career in science. As a curator, I would like to do the same thing within the field of art history. I would like to be that Black representation for Black youth who often feel they cannot pursue a career within art history, similar to what Edward A. Bouche did within science and what Sigma Pi Phi fraternity does with many of their mentoring initiatives that they have for Black youth. I appreciate Sigma Pi Phi fraternity's dedication to funding the education for many Black youth with their many scholarship programs. Their social action work during times of devastation within our community is very noble. Sigma Pi Phi fraternity's dedication in supporting Black institutions with their many philanthropic endeavors, examples of this being their immense donations to the African American Museum of History and Culture and historically Black colleges and universities. I would like to thank the Sigma Pi Phi fraternity's Promising Scholars Fund for selecting me as one of their 2020 Edward A. Bouche scholarship recipients. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Gatling. I'm from Trumbull, Connecticut, and 20 years old. I was a graduate of Trumbull High School in 2017. During my time in high school, I was a student athlete. I played basketball for 1 year and ran track for 3 years on the indoor team and outdoor team as a sprinter. While being a student athlete, I had a passion for community service, and I still do to this day. During high school, I received the Presidential Award for Community Service 4 years in a row. I have the award at all 3 levels, which is gold, silver, and bronze. And basically it means that I completed over 200 hours of community service each year. In addition, some of the work I've done abroad was through Cornerstone Christian Center and Adventures in Missions. I was able to visit several countries like Belize, Guyana, Haiti, and a couple other ones where I was able to really see what it's like abroad to gain a new perspective. And I believe those experiences in high school shaped me as a person, shaped the way I see the world and who I am today. I'm very grateful for them. In addition to just doing community service, being an athlete, I was a part of a lot of the life that happened in high school, which was clubs and organizations such as the Italian Club, Kids for Kids, working with children that had different disabilities, and I was able to just spend a lot of time with them. Now, currently, as a college student, I attend the University of Bridgeport. I'm a sophomore and a dual major in business administration and digital marketing communications. Going to the University of Bridgeport is one of the best things that has happened to me. I love the community and all the experiences that I've gained, and how the community is so rich in diversity. A lot of things I'm a part of on the campus are gospel choir. I'm the vice president. InterVarsity, I'm the vice president, as well as the Student Government Association. I'm the class representative for the class of 2022. And one of the positions I hold on my campus is I'm a member of the Purple Knight Society as a student ambassador, so I'm able to work with a lot of potential families and students that might one day come to the university. I give them tours, I tell them all about the campus and what it's like to actually be a college student. Now, with my 2 degrees, one in business administration and the other one in digital marketing and communications, I one day hope to become an entrepreneur. And both of those degrees have taught me so much about the business industry as a whole and what it's like to put things together creatively. That's where the digital marketing communications degree comes in, with video production and working on different campaigns and using some of those creative skills later in life. Dr. Edward A. Bouche has inspired me. his story just as being the first African American to ever receive a doctorate degree at an American institution. And he's a Connecticut native, which is even better. As a Connecticut native, I hope to do some of the things that he's accomplished. Being a first means he's never given up. He's taken risks in that journey of becoming an African American to have a doctorate degree, which means so much in the face of adversity. When it seems like no one else is doing it, he was able to step forward and keep on going, striding forward. During my time in college, I've applied some of those principles to my own life. I've attended a university that's in Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut. I never would have expected to end up at the University of Bridgeport, but now taking advantage of just taking risks, putting myself out there, I've become so enriched in the community and different movements on my campus. If I had never taken those risks, I wouldn't be the person I am today sitting before you. On my campus, I was able to be part of teams such as the Alternative Spring Break team, where we were able to go during our spring break to do service work and different projects down in Florida at Give Kids the World, which is a nonprofit organization that helps families with children with critical illnesses. And they treat the children like just princes and princesses for the entire week, where they constantly love on them and they allow it to be a magical experience for them because the children get to go to Disneyland. And I also was able to visit some of the Ronald McDonald houses. Now, if I never took a step out in faith my very first semester of being a freshman on the University of Bridgeport campus, I would have never been able to go forward and just have some of these experiences. So I'm very grateful for Dr. Edward A. Boucher's story and his journey, because from it, it's just helped me overall. And I believe the Sigma Pi Phi fraternity stands for the same things: determination, excellence, and dedication. That same mentality of just not giving up. And one of their members was Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, there's so many people that are touched by his story and what he did. He was a minister, but he also stood for just equal rights and there not being a difference between black and white, and us just being a community that loves on each other. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity, grateful that you're allowing me to be one of the recipients of this scholarship. I was struggling a little just providing and finishing my degree financially. I wasn't sure how I would complete this next semester, which is the summer semester and fall semester, because my tuition did increase. And now I'm able to go forward and complete 5 courses during the summer and 6 courses during the fall, because this scholarship money is going to help me get closer to my degrees in business administration and digital marketing communication, but also in receiving an education as a whole, so that one day I can step out and try new things like Dr. Edward A. Boucher did, and I could represent the African American community well as an individual. Thank you so much for the scholarship. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to one day being a success story like Dr. Edward A. Boucher.
Hello, my name is Tamar Billette, and I'm a recipient of the Edward A. Boucher Scholarship. First and foremost, I just wanted to say that I'm honored to be a recipient of the scholarship among other many amazing candidates. I am from Stamford, Connecticut, and I currently attend West Hill High School. During these 4 years, I've participated in many extracurriculars. The one most important to me is my involvement in the varsity girls tennis program at my school. I was a varsity starter all 4 years, where I received all FCIAC first team and all state first team my junior year, as well as being ranked one of the top 16 players in Connecticut. I was named captain my junior and senior year, and I recently received the FCIAC Exemplary Scholar Athlete Award, which is given to one female athlete per school in my county who shows excellence on and off the court. Additionally, I played volleyball all 4 years as well, where I was a starter sophomore through senior year, and I received the FCIAC Scholar Athlete Award senior year, as well as led the team to the state finals for the first time in 33 years my senior year. I was also involved in the athletic community outside of the court. I was the president of the Captain's Council, which is the group of varsity sports captains from all 3 athletic seasons at my school. We plan community events, raise money for breast cancer awareness, and are involved in the planning of many school spirit events and sporting events by working closely with the student-led fan pack named the Purple Pack. Outside of athletics, I've also received numerous awards among the years for my academic commitment and my extracurricular involvement, including the DAR Good Citizens Award, the Bryant University Book Award, AP Scholar with Distinction, and the Mickey Leone Jr. Scholarship. I was also part of Future Business Leaders of America and the Academy of Finance, which is a 3-year business program that selects 30 students per grade to take part in 5 business classes, participate in paid and unpaid internships, and network with businesses in the area. One of my biggest achievements, however, is when I founded OFAV, also known as Opportunities for All Vikings. Vikings are our school mascot. This club connected seniors from the National Honor Society, which I am also a part of, with students from all 4 grades who wanted help creating resumes and applying for scholarship. This club has made me realize that I have a passion for mentoring students and that I would be interested in tackling the rising problem of college tuition in the United States. In the fall, I will be attending Boston University, where I will be in the College of Arts and Sciences on the undecided track, but leaning towards economics and applied mathematics. Like I mentioned before, I am very honored to be receiving this scholarship because of what it means and signifies. Dr. Edward A. Boucher was the first African-American man to receive a doctorate degree in 1876. He attended one of the most competitive universities in the world, Yale University, and he broke barriers for African-American men and women to follow in his path and pursue the higher level of education. He gave the African-American generations after him hope for a better life, and this scholarship does just that. Likewise,
Sigma Chi Phi
fraternity was the first African-American Greek life organization and was founded in the early 1900s when they were excluded from other fraternities due to the color of their skin. They focused on 3 main values: leadership, education, and civic responsibility, which are 3 values that I also try to incorporate into my life. In terms of leadership, I've been a captain on my girls' tennis team as well as my church volleyball team, and I founded an organization at my school. I'm not afraid to take leadership and show initiative, and this is something that I am very proud of. In terms of education, I do want to pursue a doctorate degree as well, so I can help others receive an education without them having to worry about the cost, because I believe everybody deserves a chance at a post-secondary education. Finally, I believe I do have a sense of civic responsibility. I've learned how to exemplify this through my AP US Government and Politics class, as well as volunteering at many different places across my county, including the Stanford Youth Tennis Academy as a tennis coach, and a computer science mentor for young kids who are learning how to code. As an African-American woman living in Connecticut, I see many barriers for African-Americans to pursue higher levels of education, which is part of the reason why I started Opportunities for All Vikings, also known as OFAV, at my school. As someone who wants to pursue a doctorate degree, like I mentioned before, as well as study economics to tackle the problem of tuition, I especially value this award and its overall contribution to equality. Thank you again for allowing me to receive this scholarship, and I can't wait to start using it in the fall at Boston University.
Hello, my name is Logan Foreman, and I'm a graduating senior at Cooperative Arts and Humanities Magnet High School. Throughout my years in high school, I have achieved high honors, was inducted into the National Honor Society, and earned the titles of Mr. Freshman and Mr. Sophomore. I also am a member of the NAACP Youth Council, Elm City Youth Club, and Mothers Demand Action. I also participated in my school jazz band and wind ensemble, where I had the opportunity to perform at the Schubert Theater, Yale University's Music Hall, and other schools to perform for younger musicians. Being a band student also allowed me to meet inspirational musicians like Bernie Williams and Thelonious Fear Monk III, better known as T.S. Monk. Outside of my school band, I am also the lead tenor player for St. Luke's Steel Band. I started playing the steel pan in 5th grade and joined the St. Luke's Steel Band in 7th grade. Since joining the band, I have been able to travel to countless places around Connecticut to perform. To name a few, I have performed for Harry Belafonte's fundraiser at the Schubert Theater, the Arts and Ideas Festival with the New Haven Orchestra, and the Archdiocese of Hartford Convention. I plan to continue my journey at Hampton University as a political science major in the fall. With me being a political science major, I plan on studying to become a lawyer. The schooling required to become a lawyer is pretty costly, so scholarships like this one are very important to me. My goal is to lessen the burden of my education for my mother, and I saw the Edward A. Boucher Scholarship as the perfect opportunity to do so. Not only will this scholarship help me financially, it will also spiritually move me because of the inspirational figure that this scholarship is dedicated to. Mr. Boucher is a man who deserves much more recognition and praise for all of his accomplishments and his contribution to paving a path for future generations of African Americans. It is sad that the name Edward A. Boucher is very rarely ever mentioned in any high school history classes. Mr. Boucher has an impressive story as the first African American to receive a PhD from an American university. You cannot help but to respect this brilliant man's achievements because despite him being very smart and graduating 6th in his class at Yale College, he still faced discrimination when looking for a job. With Mr. Boucher being an educator for the majority of his life, I know there are countless African American men and women that he influenced throughout his lifetime. I am glad to see that the elite Sigma Pi Phi organization is continuing the powerful legacy of Edward A. Boucher by inspiring and influencing young African Americans like me. I would like to thank you for acknowledging me for such a prestigious award.
Good morning. My name is Jay Morris. On behalf of Sigma Pi Phi Beta Tau Chapter, congratulations on receiving the 2020 Edward Alexander Boucher Scholarship Award. Each of you reflects what Dr. Boucher represented. Outstanding character, perseverance, intelligence, leadership, discipline, and a concern for your communities. I'm so encouraged for the future as I look at each of you. Do not, I repeat, do not let anyone or anything discourage you from setting high standards. There will be many who will tell you you cannot, it's impossible, give up, it's not worth it. When it happens, I would like you to reflect on your individual achievements and accomplishments as signposts along the way to just remind you what is possible. Luke 19:11 says that the things that are impossible with man are possible with God. Again, I am so encouraged for the future, even in the midst of COVID-19. My faith still tells me that God does not abandon his people. In the midst of what appears to be darkness, he gives us bright, shining stars as evidence that hope still abounds. And I see that hope in each of your hearts and lives. Maya Angelou wrote, "You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hate, but still like the air, I will rise." Know that you have resources in the form of Beta Tau Boulay, men who are dearly committed to serving our communities. Alice Walker said, "The most common way that people give up their power is by thinking that they don't have any." You are all powerful in your own right. Recognize your unique talents and gifts. There's no other human person, there's no other human being on the face of this earth exactly like you. There never was, there never will be. You have been gifted by God. Take your gifts and talents. Do not fear. Step out in faith. Do not be ashamed to ask for help. For asking for help is a sign of strength. And know that you are not alone and that God will not forsake you. I want to congratulate your parents on the fine job they did in getting you to this place. May God continue to bless you and the work that you find to do along the way. God bless, and again, congratulations.
Well, there was a very powerful set of videos from our scholarship recipients. And I want to close out our program this morning just with a few remarks. But I want to start with a quote from Frederick Douglass. It said, "It's better to build strong children than it is to repair broken adults." It is our hope and prayer that the resources provided to the 2020 class of promising scholars will assist you to become not only strong adults, but pillars of our community who will build the next generation of strong children and even stronger communities. In many respects, you, our 2020 promising scholars, have arrived at this moment for a reason. You are both the promise and the hope of your parents, grandparents, and loved ones. They have invested in you so that you can be here today. The promise that you make is your promise, but I know from reviewing your academic and community careers that you are special. You are unique. You are destined for greatness. You must make the promise to yourself no matter what the obstacles, barriers, or hurdles thrown in your way. Rest assured, there will be people who will doubt your abilities, your right to be at the table, and the legitimacy of your promise to yourself. Don't worry about those doubters. Be steadfast. You are never alone. Your parents, your community, and this Boucher is by your side to encourage you, to support you, to honor you. On behalf of Promising Scholars Board of Directors and Beta Tau Boucher, this I promise to you. Now I want to thank the Promising Scholars Board and the planning committee that took the initiative to create this virtual ceremony during these difficult times. I want to thank all of the archons of Beta Tau Boucher and Sigma Pi Phi for supporting this event. I also want to thank the corporations, individuals, organizations, and golfers for supporting this event. I also want to thank Scholarship America for their help in processing the scores of applications. And I think all of us are extremely satisfied with the 2020 class of Promising Scholars. I want to thank our event coordinator, Christina Sutton, for working tirelessly to make this event a reality and for teaching us mature men how to use Zoom. I want to thank the parents and the family of Promising Scholars for taking the time to help us honor their children, grandchildren, nephews, nieces, and cousins. All of these people and organizations I have just recognized are the village that raises strong children. You are now part of our family, and you should call on us. And finally, I want to thank each of the members of the 2020 Promising Scholars class for taking the initiative to be great. We are in great hands. I wish each of you joy and health. This brings our program to a close. Thank you.